Do you have to go to the airport?
We are back at the Oxnard Performing Arts Center. There you see Arturo Barraza, the hometown hero out of Oxnard, fighting out of La Colonia. 3 wins, 1 loss. 3 of those wins, I should say, 2 of the 3 wins by virtue of knockout. And he will take on Torrance Brown. We will get the ring announcer Jim Fitzgerald momentarily. But so far, fight number 1, Raul Galvan by knockout. Round number 1, 2 minutes, 30 seconds down. Bantamweight fight scheduled for 4. Fight number 2, Sosa de Arraso wins it in round 3 by knockout. Super middleweight fight fought just prior to this one, won by Aaron Tohill by decision. Let's go to Jim Fitzgerald.
4 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Dr. Lou Moret. And now, introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trunks, trimmed in black, he is hailing out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight, he weighed in at 140 1/2 pounds. He is a veteran of 16 professional bouts. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Torrance Brown. His opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing brown trunks, trimmed in gold. He is representing La Colonia Boxing Gym right here in beautiful Oxnard, California. Tonight he weighed in at 141 pounds. He brings to the ring a record of 3 wins, only 1 defeat, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Arturo Barraza.
Arturo Barraza out of Oxnard. We mentioned fighting out of La Colonia. In fact, as the fighters get their last-minute instructions from Lou Moret, we should take the opportunity, Jerry, to thank Francisco Salazar. Francisco, for all the information, all he has helped us with. He's got that Fight News website, and he is a very, very knowledgeable devotee of the fight game, and he does a great job writing for the Fight News. You can check out that website. Again, thanks to Francisco Salazar. This is a scheduled 6-round bout underway between Barraza and Torrance Brown. Brown out of Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a big right hand by Barraza. Very punishing fighter. We had the opportunity to talk to Arturo before the start of the fight. Very confident young man. Very nice, pleasant young man. Very respectful, but he feels very confident about his chances tonight in this fight, Jerry.
Well, and he's in front of hometown fans. He's definitely being more aggressive right here in the beginning. Both fighters kind of weighing each other out, trying to see what they got. But right now, it looks like Barraza's definitely going to come on a little more aggressive.
You know, it was interesting. I was doing some research on Barraza. He had a fight back, I believe, in August of 2002. And the gentleman who wrote the article was talking about Barraza looking like a mini-me version of Fernando Vargas. In fact, they call him El Feroz. He survived 2 near knockdowns in the first round to come back to win that particular fight. Very aggressive, very tough young man, as you would expect out of La Colonia here in Oxnard. You think about Vargas and Robert Garcia. Of course, Robert Garcia is in Barraza's corner, instructing Arturo on what to do nearing the end of round number 1. So far, you talk about ring generalship and aggression, you have to favor Arturo here.
Well, definitely. He had mentioned earlier that Torrance Brown was kind of a dancer, like to use the whole ring and duck out of the way, and so taking advantage of that, Arturo's going after him.
Once again, scheduled for 6 rounds, 6 3-minute rounds nearing the end of round number 1. Barraza trying to set up the big shot with that left hand. Left hand jab, try to come over the top with the right. There's a left hand lead. Gets in under the defense of Brown. There's a pretty effective shot to the body by Brown.
Yeah, Brown's working the body a little more, while Barraza seems to be going more for the head. That left hand set him up, but he didn't connect on the right.
One thing about Brown's style, he really holds that left hand down low, almost inviting that right hand to try to connect. He brings that left hand on the jab out of nowhere, but basically you're wide open for the counter right, the big right hand. There's a pretty good right hand. That must be a stumble, I would think. Good right hand by Brown. That seemed to anger Barraza as they mix it up directly in front of us. Third man in is Lou Moret. There's a little right hand by Barraza as Brown was walking away, and Brown kind of glares at Barraza as he walks back to his corner.
Well, I think Brown was trying to set him up there a little bit, and Barraza got angered by that and came after him very aggressively. Tough right there to score that. I think that definitely Barraza landed more punches and probably would get the 10-9 decision, but I think Torrance Brown did a good job in the latter part of that first round of coming after him and landing a couple punches of his own.
I would agree with that. I think you talk about punches, aggression, and effectiveness of aggression. Also the ring generalship, showing poise and control in the ring. If you factor all those in, narrowly, round number one, perhaps to Barraza. Of course, it doesn't matter what we say.
Well, we saw that.
But we like to have fun.
So, and you say that. I hope you guys at home are doing the same thing. Try to get in there and see if you can be a judge, get in the judges' heads, and then you can be angry at them and maybe throw a little popcorn at the television.
Barraza was involved with that explosion at the Ocean we did back on, I believe that was April 18th in this year. He won by knockout, round number 3, 1 minute 58 down over Aaron Boyd. So he's got a heavy hand. He can put you down with the right punch. This is a super lightweight bout, the 140-pound division. Barraza got Gonzo in the front of his trunks, La Colonia on the back. The color's looking a little bit like Oxnard High School. I think a gold, a maroon gold type of look. Brown has the gold with the black trim. And again, you notice, Jerry, that Barraza really trying to cut the ring down, trying to get Brown in the corner against the ropes if possible.
Yeah, Brown likes to use his quickness, do a little dancing, maybe evade a few punches, and then try to land a couple of his own.
This is the second of 6 scheduled rounds. Super lightweight bout between Barraza and Brown. There's a pretty good left hand by Barraza. And you talk about the hometown hero. Most of the fans in attendance here at the Oxnard Performing Arts Center trying to root on their local hero, Barraza. And again, you see Brown with both hands now down. It was the left hand, now he's dropping both. I think inviting the attack by Barraza, and he complies right in front of that belt buckle.
Nice little left hand to the head, too, there by Barraza. Brown's doing his dancing, he's dropping his hands and inviting those punches.
Stinging right hand over the top by Barraza. Nice counter right by Brown, who's showing a little of the Muhammad Ali type of look, kind of spinning, waving that right hand as he tried to set up a shot. There's a pretty good left hand by Barraza. That right hand by Brown catches the side of the left side of Barraza.
Well, a flurry of punches there by both guys, and neither of them landed very much of them and made much of an effect on the other.
There's a little bit of a stumble trying to get away that time by Brown.
I think Brown actually tripped over Barraza's foot, and that's why the referee stepped in and let him get back into it.
Stepped on a shoelace perhaps there. Round number 2, latter part. Reminder, 3-minute round. Barraza trying to zone in. He's setting up that big right hand, but Brown will step away. Move right in front of Bill Goodman on the far side. And some of the fans are not particularly happy with the tactics of Brown, but he's got to do what he thinks will give him the best shot of winning as he comes back, trying to get something going late in round number 2. And after the bell, we have a couple of punches thrown, and the referee Moret will warn Barraza, you can't do that. After that bell is rung, and he'll step across and do the same to Torrance Brown.
Both threw a late punch there, and this is heating up. And as you mentioned earlier, there's no way Torrance Brown can let the fans in the stands, who are definitely Barraza fans, affect the way he fights. He's got to fight his own fight. He seemed to be a little bit riled by what they had to say a few minutes ago, and hopefully he won't let that affect the way that he maneuvers in this fight.
I think sometimes people fail to realize, boxing fans, that boxing is not only offense, but it's also defense, not unlike any other sport. You have to be able to be aggressive, throw punches and land punches, but you also have to be able to avoid and evade punches. And I think so far, the most offensive, the most effective offensive fighter here would be Barraza, and the most effective defender probably would be Brown. He's doing a pretty good job of evading the big shots of Arturo.
Well, I think what we've seen so far is Torrance Brown has fought the kind of fight he wants to fight. Barraza has fought his fight too. He's a lot more aggressive. He goes after him.
I think what Barraza has to maybe concern himself with, or maybe his corner, continue to fight your fight. Don't let frustration set in and do something that's going to come back to haunt you.
Well, I think too that you have to realize.
Trying to press the attack on Brown, who continues to move away.
Well, they both landed some pretty good punches in that last flurry, but Arturo got a few more in.
You can hear the crowd in the background yelling, Barraza, flurry directly in front of us, right, left hand. Nice counter right by Brown as he steps out. There's a good body shot with a left hand underneath by Barraza. Now the left hand is getting more effective as those low hands, the low-handed defensive posture is starting to catch up to Brown a little bit.
Well, and as he gets a little bit more fatigued, he's not able to get those hands back up as quickly. And as you said, that left hand, the lead hand, is getting in there a lot more often.
This is round number 3. Scheduled 6 rounds, super lightweight division, the 140-pound division between Arturo Barraza out of Oxnard and Torrance Brown in the gold trunks with the black trim out of Las Vegas. Wild right hand by Barraza. Here they go directly in front of us as they clinch. Lou Moret will break them apart. Most of the damage there done once again by Arturo.
Well, I think that fatigue's going to be definitely something that helps decide this fight one way or the other. But right now it looks like Torrance Brown is much more fatigued than Barraza is, and Barraza keeps going right after him.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. He's not backing away. He just keeps coming. That battery is not running low at all on any type of fuel. We're talking about Arturo Barraza. Gonzo. Big left-handed uppercut. Just misses connecting with the chin of Brown. There's a big right hand by Brown. Flush to the chin of Barraza. So that's a nice punch by Torrance. Right hand staggers Brown, who basically jams Barraza towards the ropes, and that'll do it for round number 3. Pretty good flurry there at the end. Both fighters doing some damage here late in round number 3.
Well, they were both doing a lot of damage that whole round, and that was a very, very competitive round. A lot of punches landed, a lot of, we saw the two styles, the difference in styles, a lot more that time as Barraza came in and tried to narrow down the ring, and Brown danced around a lot and opened up his hands and invited Barraza to come in and hit him, which he did a lot more effectively with that left hand. But at the same time, Torrance Brown was able to get quite a few hits in himself, especially with the right hand.
I don't know if we'll have time here, but I mentioned briefly, I talked about that explosion at the Ocean held back on April 18th of this year at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. One of the fights involved Kevin Monty and Brad Roan. Tragically, Brad Roan passed away in the ring in Cedar City, Utah, early part, I believe, of last week, his final fight, and that was a tragedy. It really struck home to me, a gentleman, a young man that we saw only a couple of months prior in the ring against Kevin Monty, and of course our heartfelt sympathies go out to the family of Brad Roan as action continues in round number 4. Super lightweight fight between Barraza and Torrance Brown. And I think we've been saying this is going to be a 6-round fight. That looks like a stumble. I don't think they're going to call that a knockdown. I think they will as they order the referee. Lou Moret says that is a knockdown. Torrance Brown doesn't agree with that. I think he felt he tripped over the foot of Barraza. Moret says let's get it going again. I think we've been calling this a 6-round fight, but according to my information it says 4. So we'll have to wait and see. Flurry in the middle of the ring. Brown was very disappointed with that call knockdown by Lou Moret.
Well, Dr. Lou Moret did call them together at the beginning of this round. I believe that indicates that this is the last round.
So my apologies. We were told initially it was a 6-round fight. On further inspection, this is probably the 4th and final round. Brown trying to come back. I think he knows that he's in a position, Jerry, where he has to do something special. He's probably behind on all 3 cards, all 3 judges' cards so far.
Yeah, I believe that you're correct in that assumption. And back to that knockdown, that Barraza landed a nice left hand just as Brown was going down. That's why I think they gave him the knockdown.
That windmill left hand by Barraza, lost his balance a little bit, ended up on the canvas on his knees. No knockdown there. About midway through the final round of this fight, Barraza versus Brown. Brown tries to come to the chest area with the right hand. This is a wild right hand. Again, the defense is down and low, working the body effectively with the right hand. Coming up underneath with a left hand uppercut is Arturo Barraza. There's the overhand right just off the side of the head of Torrance Brown. That could have caused some damage. You see Brown try to lead with the head as he tries to cover up and protect, with Barraza zeroing in.
Well, I think that dancing has finally worn him down to the point now where he can't dance anymore, and Barraza just coming in, taking free shots, not landing all of them, but getting enough in there to score the win.
You talked about one of the earlier fights, the conditioning and also leg strength. You take a look at the potential leg strength of these 2 fighters. Very stout, strong-looking lower body by Arturo Barraza.
Definitely, and even though Torrance Brown is long and lanky, it looks to me like Barraza might be just a little stronger in the lower body, and that he doesn't do quite as much running either.
Nearing the end of round number 4, a pretty good left hand. Another left hand by Brown, trying to pick it up, and that'll do it. That's the end of round number 4, the end of the fight. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with the result of this fight. Stay with us.
That would have to be the best day of my life. It took years of hard work, sweat, and determination. It also took the support of my family, my friends, and the community. That's why I would like to thank you for helping me achieve my dreams. I would also like to give special thanks to Dr. Anderson for keeping me in the best shape of my life. And when I go fight, he's always there to help. Call Dr. Anderson today and get great chiropractic care for your health.
There you see the corner of Arturo Barraza out of La Colonia here in Oxnard. In fact, that's Torrance Brown as we speak. Barraza across the way. There's Arturo. That was a very interesting fight, I think, in terms of all the factors that Gwen Adair talked about in terms of judging. Most of the factors solidly in the corner of Arturo Barraza. I have him potentially by unanimous decision over Torrance Brown.
I think I'd have to agree, and even though I think Torrance Brown did a good job of fighting his fight, Arturo definitely landed more blows in that fight. And there's that stumble we saw, or TKO knockdown, or not TKO, the knockdown that we saw. It looked like Torrance Brown was stumbling at the time.
Let's go to Jim Fitzgerald.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action, once again, let's give him a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Judge at ringside, Gwen Adair and David Mendoza both score the bout 38-37. Judge at ringside, Abe Millardo scores the bout 40-35 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Arturo Barraza.
So there you have it, by unanimous decision, very popular decision, and I think well-deserved. Arturo Barraza wins by that unanimous decision over Torrance Brown. And there you see Robert Garcia offering congratulations to young Arturo, who moves to 4 wins, 1 loss in his early boxing campaign here, Jerry Guerin.
Well, I think he fought a very good fight, and I think he was the aggressor throughout. He didn't let that style of Torrance Brown of dancing and trying to get away from him affect him. Definitely, I believe he was in better shape, and he went in and showed that he was in better shape in the 4th round when he just took control.
I mentioned Robert Garcia, of course. He's out of La Colonia and Oxnard. He is a former IBF junior lightweight champion of the world, so great advice in the corner provided by Garcia to Barraza. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with our next fight coming up shortly. Don't you dare go away.